There is a strange kind of day happening in the sky right now, and if you are a Capricorn, you are standing at the exact center of it. One planet is asking you to cut something away. Another is asking you to soften. And somewhere in between, your own moon is quietly begging you to disappear for a while. Most horoscopes will tell you today is about romance or career or luck. It is actually about something much older than that, a choice between the comfortable illusion you have been living in and the real structure you are capable of building. Stay with this, because by the end, you will understand why today might be one of the more honest days you have had in months. The bigger picture. Let us start with the planet that runs your entire chart. Saturn is your ruler, Capricorn, and right now it is moving through the part of your life connected to home and relatives. In Hellenistic tradition, Saturn has always carried the symbolism of iron and the scythe, the tool that cuts, prunes, and reshapes. That is not a poetic accident. Iron sits at Saturn's astronomical core, and the scythe has represented this planet in mythology for thousands of years. When Saturn activates your domestic house, it is not being cruel. It is handing you a tool and asking you to use it specifically to cut through any escape bubble or soft unreality you have been floating inside regarding your family or household. Not punishment. Renovation. At the same time, something warmer is unfolding. Venus has just entered Libra, and in Western tropical astrology, that shift lands directly in your 10th house of career, where it will stay until September 10th. Venus in this position brings grace, visibility, and relational intelligence into your professional world. From the Western lens, this is a genuinely favorable transit for proposals, interviews, reputation repair, and simply being recognized for the quality of your work. Here is where the story gets its first twist. While Saturn is asking you to be blunt and structural at home, Venus is asking you to be warm and diplomatic at work. That is not a contradiction, it is two halves of the same lesson. Saturn strips away illusion in one house. Venus builds authentic connection in another. Both are teaching you that real stability, whether domestic or professional, comes from honesty dressed in skill rather than performance dressed in hope. Love. Bring this same energy into your relationships, because Venus in Libra does not stop at your career, it reaches into how you are seen as a partner too. You may notice a pull toward giving a relationship a more public or practical definition right now. Conversations about labels, meeting the family, or how the two of you appear together may surface naturally over the coming weeks. Later in the day, a Sun-Saturn trine adds real weight to a serious decision involving home, privacy, or long-term stability. Here is the part almost everyone gets backward. There is a temptation to want the polished, public announcement before the private groundwork is actually settled. The energy today favors reversing that order. Discuss the schedule. Discuss the expectations. Discuss what commitment genuinely looks like day to day. A relationship tends to feel strongest when the structure underneath it can actually hold the weight placed on top of it. If you are already partnered, tension may be simmering under the surface, and it deserves an honest look rather than avoidance. Many people with this configuration report feeling more capable of gentle confrontation right now. Venus softens the delivery, even while Saturn insists on the truth. Career. That same Venus and Libra energy carries straight into your professional life, since it is technically living in your career house right now. This can help with leadership conversations, interviews, or simply being noticed for competence rather than noise. You do not have to choose between being liked and being effective today. Tact can actually strengthen authority instead of diluting it. Refining how you communicate, rather than changing what you communicate, tends to carry more weight than usual. There is something else worth naming here. Because this Venus placement is relational by nature, you may feel unexpected sparks or warmth toward a colleague or someone you keep encountering at industry events. It can also simply deepen camaraderie with a few coworkers, good for morale, and often revealing more common ground than you would assumed. That warmth tends to unlock creative problem solving too. If something at work has felt stuck, this is a favorable window to approach it from a completely different angle. Many people navigating this transit find themselves gaining an unexpected reputation for creative thinking, simply because Venus loosened the grip of the usual approach. If you are job hunting, the advice sharpens into something practical. This is a strong window to network more actively rather than wait quietly. Visibility, even informal visibility, tends to be rewarded right now. Money. Financially, the energy today leans encouraging. Investing decisions appear to be supported, and this can be a reasonable window to review opportunities you have been sitting on rather than continuing to delay them. That said, probability-based caution still applies. Favorable energy supports good decisions. It does not replace due diligence. There is also a quieter money lesson hidden in Saturn's current position. When Saturn asks you to reshape the escape bubble around your home life, it is often pointing at finances, to subscriptions, spending patterns, or comfortable habits that avoid a harder conversation about resources. The iron tool Saturn hands you today can just as easily prune a budget as it can prune an illusion. Health. Now here is where today's insight really comes together, so stay with this part. In Vedic tradition, the moon is currently transiting Aries for you, and this often brings a genuine pull toward isolation. That is worth naming clearly, because it is easy to mistake this mood for something wrong with you. It is not. If you have been socializing heavily, or simply giving your energy outward for too long, this lunar placement is your system asking for a recalibration, not a warning sign. Here is the insight almost nobody connects. Saturn is asking you to cut through illusion at home. The moon is asking you to withdraw and look inward. Venus is asking you to be visible and warm outward. On paper, these look like three unrelated instructions pulling you in three directions. But they are actually describing the same day from three different angles. Cut the false comfort, sit with the truth alone for a moment, then bring your most honest self back out into the world. That is the real shift happening today. Retreat is not the opposite of growth right now. It is the preparation for it. Practically, that means honoring the urge to unplug rather than fighting it. Choose something that genuinely restores you: reading, a walk, quiet time away from screens, instead of depriving yourself of the very things that bring you joy. Physically, keep an eye on your back and posture. This is a good stretch to be consistent with posture exercises rather than reactive after discomfort sets in. On remedies, if you are drawn to Vedic approaches for Saturn's current pressure, some practitioners may recommend Saturn-related remedies, such as specific gemstones or mantras for individuals whose birth charts genuinely support them. This is not universal advice, and gemstone prescription in particular requires real chart analysis rather than a blanket recommendation for every Capricorn watching. A safer, universally available option. Yellow is considered a lucky color for you today, and that is something anyone can simply choose to wear. Home and family. This brings us back to where the day started, your home and your relatives, the exact house Saturn is currently moving through. Family matters may need an honest look today, especially if they have been quietly draining you for a while. That drain does not ask for dramatic confrontation. It asks for the kind of iron-willed honesty Saturn is famous for: putting yourself first where it is genuinely needed, rather than continuing to absorb tension you have been minimizing. This is the reshaping Saturn was pointing to from the very beginning, not destruction. not conflict for its own sake. Just an honest cut through whatever soft unreality has let a draining pattern continue longer than it should have. Travel and spirit. If travel is on your mind, the energy today does not discourage it. In fact, a destination like Mexico stands out favorably if you have been considering a trip. But there is a spiritual layer worth pairing with any travel plan right now. The same withdrawal then return rhythm running through your health and home life applies here too. A trip taken from a place of genuine restoration tends to feel completely different from one taken as an escape from unresolved tension. This is really the spiritual thread tying the entire day together. Saturn cuts illusion. The moon asks for quiet reflection. Venus rewards honest visibility. Whether you are traveling, resting, or simply sitting with your own thoughts this evening, the invitation is the same: stop floating around the truth and start reshaping your life around it instead. Lucky signs. For today, yellow carries favorable energy as your lucky color, and the hour between 5 and 6 in the evening stands out as your luckiest window. Numbers 50 and 39 also appear favorably aligned for you. If you are weighing decisions during that early evening hour, it may be worth trusting your instincts a little more than usual. Today's guidance. So here is where today actually lands. You were handed an iron tool this morning, whether you noticed it or not. Saturn's ancient symbol for cutting away what no longer serves the truth. The invitation is not to demolish your life. It is to reshape it, one honest decision at a time, whether that is a conversation with family, a quieter evening alone, or a moment of real visibility at work. Today rewards people willing to trade comfortable illusion for actual structure. That trade might feel uncomfortable in the moment. It tends to feel like relief by tomorrow. If something in this reached you, notice which part it was. That is usually the part your chart most needed you to hear today.